What's going on, guys? Tyler with UltraCore Systems here, and it is time to build another computer. Today we have the 5th official giveaway build. I gotta start keeping track of this. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove the vertical mount because we're gonna do our first vertical mount on the giveaway build. And you guys are probably wondering, what tower is this going in? Well, guys, we have the Johnsbow X400. And guys, this tower is sick. It's fully aluminum metal, so it's a complete metal case. It looks super clean, and wait till you see all these parts inside it. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, guys, the motherboard we went with is actually the Oros Pro X870E. And let's go ahead and show the other parts that we're going to be assembling in the motherboard. In the RAM we went with is the DDR5 Trident Z5 Neo by G-Scale. And for the CPU, we went with the AMD Ryzen 7 9800X3D. And then for the storage, we went with the king of the crop, the Samsung 990 Pro. So let's go ahead and get these assembled in. Real quick, guys, I wanted to mention that we also picked up the Thermalright AM5 contact plate, so that way it has constant pressure and evenly spread thermal paste throughout the CPU, and that way it has better temperatures when you're, reaching peak gaming and productivity hours. So let's go ahead and remove this and get started. All right, now that's removed, you obviously need the screws, but what's nice is it actually has an arrow here to make sure you align it correctly. So where we removed it, so obviously first you want to put the CPU in, and this is where you need to be extra careful to ensure that you align it correctly and you do not bend any pins, because now there's nothing to secure it until you put the new bracket on. So let's go ahead and get these screws in. They provide you with 4 new screws to make sure you can fastenly secure the CPU. Be extra careful. All right. Plate is in, looking good. Let's drop the screws in. Now, guys, when you are screwing this in, make sure you go cardinal points, opposite corners to secure even pressure, and do not fully fasten these in. You want to do them little by little at a time, so that way you don't bend any pins in the process. So let's go ahead and do that. Now that the CPU is installed, let's go ahead and get the RAM installed. So guys, always remember when installing 2 sticks of RAM that you always do it in slot 2 and 4, not 1 and 3. All right, now that the RAM's secured, let's go ahead and put the final piece on the motherboard, which is the M.2 board system. All right, now that we got the motherboard assembled, let's go ahead and put this in the tower. Look how nicely they have all their stuff packaged in box. I mean, their fans were boxed excellent. Their screws and everything are packed extremely nice. And they even give you a protective pad to put all your screws and screwdrivers on. I mean, shout out Johnsbow. But now let's go ahead and drop the motherboard in. All right, now that we got the motherboard installed, let's go ahead and move on. So quick note, I also think these panel protectors are freaking awesome. And what's really neat is under here, once I remove these, you can actually install 2 more fans back here to cool your motherboard and to provide better cooling. On their website, they actually have a diagram to show you the benefits of adding these fans here. So you guys are more than welcome to do that if you win this build. Let's go ahead and remove these panels. So as you guys can see, this is obviously where you put the 2 fan slots, but I just wanted to give you guys what that looks like. So let's go ahead and move on. All right, so the AIO that we went with is the Lee & Hydro Shift 2 with the square screen, which is the S model. I like the square look better than I like the circle look, and this LCD screen is removable, so I don't know if they're going to be doing anything that you could swap out in the future, but I thought that was really cool. And the thing I also appreciate about Lee & is they sell their AIOs without fans. And it's extremely cheap to get this. It's only like 160 bucks or so, and you can put your own fans of choice in there, which again, the fans that we decided to go with on this tower are the Johnsbow ZA fans. Now these come in as a single piece, so it's all one unit, and they sell it in a 360, a 240, and a 120. And these guys they look amazing, they have great specs, and they run really affordable on Amazon. I did an in-depth video on these, so if you guys are doing a budget build or would like to know how to set these up, I could put the link in the description below, but make sure you guys check out my in-depth guide on how to set this up. But let's go ahead and put these on the new AIO. All right, guys, and real quick, why I like the Hydro Shift 2 is because when you're mounting this on your PC, it actually hides the AIO cables a lot better, and it looks 10 times cleaner, where you're just gonna be more or less seeing that little amount of tubing in your build, and it looks super clean. Asus does a really good one of these, but this is more budget friendly, looks cooler, and Asus is like $400. Unless they send us one, I'll put it in a tower, but let's go ahead and get this thing assembled. I even think those fans look super clean in there, so let's go ahead and get this screwed in and we can be on our way. And also, side note, what's really nice is you only need 4 screws because there's only 4 screw holes, so you don't have to screw in so many. All right, now let's go ahead and install this in the tower. Real quick, I have to swap out the bracket for the Lee & Lee Hydro Shift 2 bracket, so let's go ahead and swap that out. All right, now that those new brackets are in, let's go ahead and mount the AIO to the top of the tower. All right, now that we got the AIO mounted, let's go ahead and attach the actual pump to the CPU.
NANI?!
All right, now let's move on to putting in the rest of the fans. All right, so let's go ahead and get the dual fans installed on the side, because you can actually fit a 240 fan on the back bracket here for better cooling. So let's get that installed. All right, so fans are installed. Let's go ahead and put the bottom fans in and the back fans in and get this thing rolling. All right, let's go ahead and get the bottom fans in now. All right, now let's go ahead and get the back fans installed, and all the fans are installed. All right, now we got the back fan installed. Let's go ahead and mount in the GPU, and this thing's pretty much wrapped up. Oh, and we do have to put the power supply in the back, but the cable management part's all for a whole nother video, but we'll go ahead and show you how to install the power supply too real quick. So guys, we went with the RM1000X by Corsair. It's a platinum power supply, so this thing is the top rated you can possibly get. There might be one higher, but I'm not 100% positive. I haven't really been studying. I have been studying PSUs for a while, so, but this looks really good, and it's NVIDIA 50 series ready, and it also has the ATX 3.1 power. Let's go ahead and get this open and installed in the computer. I like the pattern that they have that's on the fan shroud, but let's go ahead and install this into the PC real quick. This is an override function that they have now that you can twist to override all fan functionality to have proper cooling throughout your PC if you want to override all fan settings. Not that anybody would ever do it, but hey, it's there. So let's go ahead and put this in. All right, we got the PSU in. I'm going to do all the cable management off video. It's going to take me a while. If you guys want to see a video on that, let me know. But I'm going to go ahead and put the graphics card in. We can fire this thing up finally. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, guys, I forgot to mention that we also got the Hydrus cables for the cable extensions, which would look super clean with the Tron build. I think the Lee & Lee streamers would be too much, but essentially we got 2 CPUs, the motherboard, and the GPU cable. So you guys will be able to see those in the finished B-roll, but I'm gonna go ahead and put these in now. All right, if you guys haven't seen what the Hydrus cables look like, I'm gonna show you really quick. So as you can see, it's a really clean cable, and there's a little RGB glow that actually matches these fans. So this is gonna look really clean. I'm really jealous. I think I'm gonna want this build in the future. So let's go ahead and get the GPU in and put the GPU cable in, and we can turn this thing on. Last but not least, we got to put the GPU into the PC. And there's a reason why we went with the Gigabyte Gaming Overclock Edition in the 5080, because the aesthetic of this graphics card, specifically on the edges, match the edges on this case. And wait till you guys see it, it's really going to tie it all together. So let's go and open this. This thing is sweet, and it literally matches the metal. So real quick, do you see the edges here, the corners? I'm going to rotate the camera just a tad here to show you the corner of this. See how they're both a little angled? So it's gonna look really, really good in this tower. So let's go ahead and put the graphics card into the tower. All right, guys, so real quick update. We decided we wanted to do a vertical mount instead of the standard mount in the PC, and we actually removed the double fan because it wouldn't fit with the vertical mount. So what we're going to do is we're going to install a single fan here. We're actually going to move the double fan to the back of the tower because it has those fan slots for better cooling. So at the end of the day, it's a kind of a win-win because the vertical mount looks cooler because the graphics card has these edges that I want to stand out more. So we're going to go ahead and get this started. So let's go and show you what this looks like. All right, I think that looks pretty sick vertical mounted. So let me go ahead and screw these in, and then we'll go ahead and connect the Hydras cable. That looks clean, and it's going to look super clean in this build. All right, let's go ahead and wrap the rest of this up. All right, so real quick, I put a single fan there, and we're going to be moving the double fan to the back, which we'll be showing you here in a second, but we had to custom fit this one in there, but it's going to look really clean when this whole thing's on. So let's go ahead and get to the back and put those last two. All right, guys, so we got the dual fans installed in here. So realistically, we're going to be using all the fans. It's going to be better cooling, and all this does is actually just slides right in on here, and there's a little bracket, and it just clicks in. Let me get the cables out of the way. Just like that. Now you have more cooling and more fans back there. So, and what's really nice is it actually comes with these cable management shrouds. So let's go ahead and screw these in, and it hides pretty much everything, which keeps everything really neat and clean. Like I said, they thought of everything in this tower. So let me get this screwed in. All right, and just like that, see now all the cables will be hidden. It'll keep everything clean. So let's go ahead and screw this in. All right, everything's clean, cable managed. Let's go get these panels back on and turn this beast on. And guys, just like that, the 5th official giveaway build is done. And what do we call this thing? The Grid. I don't know if you can tell, but we were inspired by the movie Tron. It's been one of our favorite series, and I think these Johnsbow fans literally remind me of the movie itself. We kept it more of a retro design. This tower has been super fun to do, and this is honestly one of the first vertical mounts we've done in a tower. Actually, the first vertical mount in a tower that we've done through a giveaway. So again, guys, this was super fun, and I'm really excited to give this to one of you guys here in the near future. So make sure you guys click the link below and get entered, and good luck.